I just need to pull up our script and everything.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to follow. You could just be like Alok and just not follow it, or just be surprised every time.
No, Alok follows it, I think.
Yeah, but he's like so shocked when I bring up someone.
I always look at it. It's what's it called? An effect. When
I don't think so, because I'll be like Sean Newcomb, you'd be like, "Oh right," and then you're like you sound like scurrying to figure out to find him online. But it's like you could just have it all open, like the first guy that we're going to talk about.
Well, I do have all of them open now, but I might still act surprised.
Also, I'd like to apologize to our listeners for last week's episode. Something got screwed up with Alok's audio. For like the middle 10 minutes of last week's episode, Alok's audio just got... It doesn't exist. Like, it's fine in the beginning for like most of the fantasy baseball stuff, and then for the first part of the How I Met Your Mother stuff, it just went away. And then it came back at the end, which is the weirdest thing. So...
Did you mute it, Alok?
Yeah, I don't know what Alok did with it.
Muted.
Did you put your mic in a tiny soundproof room? Or sorry, your head in a tiny soundproof room that your mic was not in.
I don't know what happened, but I tried to stream it together, and you could see if you could figure out where I had to cut out like 5 minutes of the show. If you haven't noticed, then great. But there is a part where because at least luckily Jake and I talked enough, so it kind of covered it up that Alok basically didn't have an opinion toward the end there. But Jake kind of like is talking about one thing and then kind of jumps into something else without a transition there, and that's kind of where I had to cut it out. But again, I tried to seam it as well as I could.
That's kind of how Jake normally talks anyways, so it's...
Hello everyone, this is the 7th episode of the Fantasy and Friends show. Let's just quick roll through the intros. Alok.
What's up?
Jake.
What's up?
And myself, Daniel. And we lost our guest this week. Not to worry, we've got a great topic that Alok is working through. He's punching the numbers, and that'll be after we talk about some fantasy stuff here, as Alok scurries through his computer to find Keon Broxton, who's kind of always been a top prospect for the Brewers. Power-speed combo, kind of like a potential 30-30 guy. But the strikeouts have been a concern. He's getting a hit every day now with home runs. Are you buying in, Alok?
That's a very good question.
Whoa, Keon Broxton. I didn't know we were talking about him.
Yeah.
That was my Alok impression.
That was good.
Okay, anyway. I'm tired.
Yeah, this is a guy he's good. He's already got 11 home runs and 11 steals.
He's in the 11-11 club.
Yeah, he's in the 11-11 club.
I don't know. The strikeouts are definitely something that he seems to have a problem with for mostly his entire career. Even in the minors, he hovered around like a 30% strikeout rate.
Well, we're going to talk about a bigger strikeout hitter coming up next, but yeah, that is a concern.
Yeah, Matt Davidson. I think Keon Broxton can get to 30-30, just based on
this year.
Oh, actually, no, I take that back. I'm just looking at his numbers, and his BABIP is a little high, and his ISO's higher than it usually is. It's at 230.
Well, he's still a young hitter. There's no usual with Keon Broxton. This is his...
I'm looking at his minors.
Yeah, but I mean it's different. I mean this last year he still hasn't really played a full season in the majors. So
Even at this point last year, his ISO was 188. This year it's 230. I don't know if he made any adjustments, but if he hasn't, then I don't know if he's going to get to 30-30. But
Jake, anything?
I mean, I agree for the most part.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know. One thing I want to look at though is he's got a 40% strikeout rate.
Keon Broxton?
Yep. 39.4. I mean, that's.
Oh, it looks
I
at
know
30.
that doesn't really affect his 30-30 possibility.
Well, if he can't get on base, he can't steal bases.
Obviously, yeah, but I mean, based on it, we're mostly going based on what he's done so far, and he's already at 11-11. So that's looking pretty promising, but it's just, I don't think this guy has a whole lot of value if he's just striking out that much.
Yeah, it's tough in points leagues to stomach the strikeouts. Yeah. All right, another big strikeout hitter, Matt Davidson, though he's kind of just doing his best Joey Gallo impression. He's going to hit like 200 with a home run every day. Which do you like? I mean, you have one spot. Do you give it to Davidson or Broxton?
I give it to that other dude that you brought up last week that I have now picked up. Just saying.
Jake Junis? It's...
No, I have no idea. It was one of the
Derek Fisher, who just got sent down to the minors, so you got to figure that out. And we're not even going to talk about Kyle Schwarber in the show, but yeah.
No.
And for the record, Davidson has an even 40%.
Oh, yeah, no, Davidson.
Rate. That's fine.
Yeah, that's... Because neither of these guys walk. That's the issue. If they walked, if they had like at least a 10% walk rate.
That's abysmal. 5%.
Yeah, 5%. Well, because
that's really bad.
I mean, his on base is below 300.
Yeah, but his hard contact rate is 40%. So he's and his fly ball rate is over 50%. So he is really the true kind of new age hitter where you just go up there and swing for the fences every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, 16 home runs so far. He's getting results. He's hitting 255. That could be worse.
Well, he's getting...
But,
yeah.
Again, I mean, I'm not really sure. I would probably take Broxton as just a bit more of a well-rounded
I mean, if you need stolen bases, obviously it's Broxton.
Player.
And the power of...
Although the average is worse.
And the power... Well, they're both going to hit 220. I don't really think... I think their averages are going to kind of level out. I think they hit the same
you think
average.
they'll both come down?
For the rest of the season, they're probably going to hit the same average. Don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about either of these guys, but from...
Well, they're both young prospects that have potential. Yeah. Well, actually, Broxton's already 27, so he's... but both these guys are... I mean... Davidson is kind of, like I said, like a Joey Gallo type. He's going to hit... He's got the 30 home run potential, but he's going to hit 200. And then Broxton, who's really more of a power-speed combo. Kind of a poor man's Mike Trout with more strikeouts. I don't know. It's an interesting debate.
I mean, I feel like everybody's a poor man's Mike Trout. That's not a good argument.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I mean, in like the power-speed kind of thing. Like Mike Trout is real. Or how about Will Myers? That's probably better.
You know, I think I can see that.
I mean, Will Myers did 28 and 28 last year. Don't forget that. So yeah, let's move on to Jake's favorite player, AJ Pollock, who had a minor setback in his recent rehab stint. So let's see, how many games do they have left? The Diamondbacks. Yeah.
How many games do they have left?
Someone look that up. They have about 90 games, right? Left. They played about 70. Yeah. How many games does AJ Pollock play the rest of the season? If they have 90 games left.
Like at least 5 or 6.
Yeah, I mean, well, that may be aggressive. It's really hard to predict how many games he's going to play because this injury thing kind of seems like it's going to be a concern throughout the whole season. He's been out since May, so
I mean, it's always been a bit of a concern.
All right, I'll set an
He's
over.
only had basically one full season in his career.
Yeah, I'll set an over under.
Is that right?
90 games. So he has 90 games left. Over.
You're asking if he's going to get 80 out of 90?
No. I said I was repeating 90. Over under.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because 80 would be too aggressive.
80 out of 90 would be. That's not going to happen.
55.
55 total or 55 for
Of
the rest of the
the
year?
rest of the 90 games. There's 90 games left. Let's just say.
Yeah, I was thinking like 60-ish. So
I mean, I'll go over.
I'm taking the over. Yeah. It's tough. It's tough to.
It's tough.
Because he could go out for 3 months. You know, he could come back and injure whatever. You know, brushing his teeth tomorrow, he could injure himself. So it's really hard to figure him out. But
it's like the
definitely
hitting version of Rich Hill.
I kind of
That's true.
yeah. It's the hitting version of Rich Hill.
But I mean,
If he comes back and
is
starts,
he worth taking, assuming the injury risk?
well, if he comes back and he starts hitting, he's definitely a sell high candidate.
Obviously.
I mean, I would find it hard to roster him or even just draft him just because of the injury history. I think he went pretty high in our league too. So, yeah, it's tough. Okay, yeah, he went around 6. He went ahead. Gosh, look who went ahead of Kyle Schwarber in our league. Who, in case you didn't hear the news, is heading to AAA. But he could be back by the All-Star break. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, he went ahead of... Yeah, AJ Pollock went ahead of Will Myers, Jose Ramirez. Though I took Jose Ramirez pretty high, but that's looking okay now. All right, let's go to Philly. Or no, one more. Struggling
Wainwright.
pitcher. Are we giving up on Adam Wainwright?
That's a question.
All right, how about this? Adam Wainwright or Michael Walker? Rest of the season.
Jesus.
Oh no.
You gotta pick one.
That's just a lose-lose.
That's why. I mean, I think they're pretty comparable at this point. They both have pretty good histories. I mean, obviously Wainwright better than Walker's, but these are some pretty good pitchers in the between 2012 to 2014.
Yeah. I mean,
which one do you have?
even
Rest of the
15,
season?
really.
Because Wainwright looked pretty good for a good stretch in May.
I mean, I don't know why either of them. I don't think any smart manager would take either.
No, you got to pick one. You're in a deep league. That's all that's there.
Trying to
You have
pick
one
I'd
roster
take
spot.
Wainwright.
We are in a deep league.
No, we're not. We're in a pretty shallow league. I'm talking about like 16-team leagues.
Oh.
Hey, 12 is the new 16.
10 and 12 are considered shallow, and then like 14 and 16 are considered deep.
Oh.
Or like an NL only. That would be pretty deep as well, obviously.
All right, so
Oh my goodness. Adam Wainwright's home ERA this year is 2.88.
yeah,
Really?
is taking one of them and then just benching them an option?
Yeah. No, you can bench him. I just think rest of the season. I'm not talking about right
I'll
now.
take Wainwright and just sit him on the bench the whole
Because here,
time.
here's Adam Wainwright's monthly
down.
ERAs, okay? In April, 6.12. In May, 2.64. In June, 11.02. So, and obviously June based on those 2 9-run games. So, which one's the true Adam Wainwright? The May 2.64 ERA or the June 11.02? That's ERA, not strikeouts per 9. By the way.
It's hard to say. I mean, even if you look at his things like his FIP, that was also pretty good in May and just collapsed in June. I guess I would say probably somewhere in between, just because like his May strand rate was like 80%, which I mean,
That's his career rate, isn't it? 80% is fine.
well, he's not striking out guys as much as he used to.
Well, he's never been a strikeout pitcher.
His K9's still down.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would have to take Waka because I feel like he's safer in that. I mean, I don't know if there's less blow-ups, but Adam Wainwright, you never know what could happen. Like he's pitching tomorrow against Pittsburgh. I don't know what would happen.
Yeah, I guess Waka's.
Well, Michael Wacha was just pitching against the Phillies.
Yeah, that's pretty pathetic too. So, and he didn't do great. But there are some unearned runs there, so maybe you just that's good. Okay, let's that's good, great transition. Let's talk about Phillies pitchers. And it's tough to own Phillies pitchers because the team is so bad, and let's be honest, wins are going to be hard to come by. But if Nick Pivetta keeps striking out, 10 hitters a game, we're gonna have to start picking him up, right?
Yeah, I mean, out of all of them, I think he's the one to look at.
Yeah.
Just based on his last 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, I highlighted 2 guys. So Pivetta and Lively, who are arguably their best pitchers right now, which again is not saying much because Eichhoff just went on the DL. Vasquez has been on the DL for a while. Which one do you put? So Jake's picking up Pivetta.
Yeah, I would go
Because
Pivetta.
Lively's got 4 straight quality starts and 7 innings in 3 of them.
Well, all right. So
One of them against Boston, one of them
Pivetta
against
has-
Arizona.
I guess these aren't quality starts. Okay, well, he's got 2 consecutive
Yeah,
quality starts.
Pivetta really. We're only looking at the previous 2 outings
Yeah.
where he has
So
19
the question
strikeouts
is he?
in 13
Is
innings.
this a turning point, or is it a fluke?
Well, these are both decent prospects.
They're both young. It could go either way.
I know Pivetta's been a strikeout pitcher in the minors, so the only thing is, I know his first pitch strike rate is not as it's like around 50%, which is actually pretty low. So, and his swinging strike rate is also kind of low. It's like 8%. But yeah, it's 8.2%.
Nick Pivetta is averaging more points than like half of my pitching stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's well.
It's
Yeah,
only
so-
11.
So
though.
let's say
I'm
let's say you've got hold on, I'm pulling it up. Let's say you have Edison Volquez on your team. Are you dropping him to pick up either of these guys?
I don't know.
Well, let's say you have
would.
John
I would
Lackey.
want to see. I would want to see one more Pivetta start.
He's at Arizona.
Yeah, I mean the thing is he's just been so shaky all year, and then we've got 2 like pretty good starts in a row. I don't know if that's enough to trust him.
Well, I mean, you could say that's growth.
It is. It is probably growth, potentially.
Like, let's say you have Julio Teheran kicking on your team. Do you pick up? Are you dropping him for Ben Lively?
For Ben Lively, I don't know. Well, how many points does he have in fantasy? Considering like he hasn't really been a strikeout pitcher even in the minors, really. And
How many points do you have in fantasy? He's not doing well.
Hey, you made 4 starts. Let's calm down.
Well, sure, but even in his good starts, he's not getting anything.
Well, he's not getting the win. That's also going to deflate his value. And again, wins are going to be hard to come by with his team.
Keckles.
Yeah, especially with, Luis Garcia in their bullpen. Well, actually, he's doing okay.
I think I would go with Gamble, but I guess Pivetta, because I remember hearing, I think from Daniel, that rookies will have one decent start, struggle for a bit, and then pick things up later on in the season. And I think that could be Pivetta with the past 2 starts. And just getting adjusted to the majors, I guess.
Yeah, it just takes some time. Yeah, so he had, it wasn't a great start, but good enough against the Dodgers, then struggled for the next couple starts. Yeah, he's an interesting speculative ad if you need pitching. All right, so the next 2 pitchers, one you've never heard of, and one you forgot you knew.
Yeah,
Homer Bailey hasn't thrown.
just passed away.
Homer Bailey, you may have forgotten, was a decent, mid threes, decent strikeout, major league pitcher from
Hey,
2000.
didn't he pitch like 3 no-hitters a few years ago?
Yeah,
or
he's
something?
thrown 3 career no hitters, or no, 2. I think he
I
said
thought-
2.
I thought it was 2 in one season at one point.
He's definitely thrown 2 no hitters. I don't know about which seasons. I'll look. I'll pick that up. Oh yeah, no, it's 1 in 2012 and 1 in 2013. No, but he had a 3.61 from 2012 to 2014. He had like a 3.61 ERA. Like around an 8 K per 9 with a 1.2 whip, which is very usable, especially in this pitching-starved environment. And the other guy, the prospect, Luis Castillo, one of their top prospects, he was actually in the Papelbon deal. That's who they traded him for. They traded Papelbon for Luis Castillo with the Nationals a couple of years ago. Just a fun fact there. And we'll get into fun facts later. But there's that segue. But Luis Castillo, being recalled from Double-A. Look, you picking him up for his start tomorrow at Washington.
Castillo he's done well in the minors. My only concern is that Washington can hit, so I think that would be a gamble. I don't know if I would take that gamble.
Well, do you pick him up and bench him then? How about that?
I could see myself picking up and benching him for the Washington start. Sure.
Jake Homer Bailey or Luis Castillo?
I don't know.
No. Homer Bailey, he had 2 in 2012, 2013, over 200 innings.
No, Homer Bailey's been a consistent pitcher, but he's how old now?
He's only 31.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's only
That's
31. You're thinking
a
of
little
Bronson
bit sad.
Arroyo, who's like 38.
I don't know who I'm thinking of, but I guess Homer Bailey has looked 50 his whole life.
Yes, that's also true. He's kind of born like that.
It's true.
Yeah, so I guess I could take Homer Bailey. It's a gamble, obviously, coming off the deal.
Oh yeah, I would bait a couple of starts to actually put him into my lineup.
Right, but he's a guy that I could see adding. He could still maybe bring some value.
Luis Castillo this season in 80 innings at Double-A, 1.46 walks per 9. We talk about a lot of these big walkers in the minors like Sean Newcomb. Luis Castillo is not one of those guys. It looks like he figured it out. So
Yeah, his stats this year in the minors are, they're pretty solid. Like a sub-3 ERA, FIP, and XFIP, a 9K9. I feel like he could do well in the majors at some point.
yeah, and this is not like a mere Garrett. This is actually Luis Castillo is one of their top pitching prospects. So someone to keep an eye on. Anything else on Homer Bailey? Otherwise, we'll move on. All right.
Nothing really.
All right, let's look at the matchups for next week. I have 3, or I guess this weekend. I have a few guys, though. One of them may not start, so I may have to change that. So I have Jordan Zimmerman at the Padres, Mike Montgomery at the Marlins. Then I have Francis Marte at Seattle, but I don't think he may not make that start, so let me swap him out for someone else. While I'm doing that, I'll look, what about the first 2 guys?
Well, it is the Padres, but it's also Jordan Zimmerman.
Well, look at his previous 6 games.
Let's see. Yeah, they have been pretty good.
Okay, Francis Marte will not be starting this weekend, so I'm finding someone else.
Like, Houston was... Well, those are some unearned runs, I guess. So, Houston was okay, and then Arizona was also good. Boston was fine.
Alright, breaking. I've replaced Francis Marte with Matt Moore versus the Mets on Sunday. Which sounds bad, but look at Matt. Matt Moore is the reverse Tyler Chatwood. His home ERA is ridiculously low. I'm pulling it up now.
Excuse me for 1 second. I'll be right back.
Alright. as Jake attends to personal business. Alok, what do you? I mean, Jordan Zimmerman looks pretty good. Are you not? You're not going to use him though.
I don't know. I didn't notice his past few starts.
Matt Moore has a 3.07 home ERA.
That makes sense.
He's at home against the Mets. I mean, that left-handed power in Bruce and Conforto is neutralized there.
Let's see. I'm also pulling up Mike Montgomery.
And Mike Montgomery, who's probably should have been in the starting rotation to begin the season, but now he's finally getting a chance. I think if I had to pick one of these guys, it's probably Mike Montgomery.
I mean, like as a starter, he has like a sub-3 ERA and FIP.
This season?
Yeah.
Because this season he's only made like 3 starts, so I don't really. It's not enough.
Right, but it was also against the Mets in Colorado.
And San Diego.
And San Diego, but I guess that inflated things. The Colorado start was okay. He did strike out 5 guys in 4 innings.
Well, he's not a huge strikeout guy, but he can keep the ball on the ground well enough. And at Miami, that's a good hitter's park.
All right, who are we talking about?
Mike Montgomery at Miami.
Okay.
I think so. If I had to rank these guys, it'd probably be Montgomery at Miami, Zimmerman at San Diego, and then Matt Moore versus the Mets. Even though Matt Moore's home ERA is great, it's still tough to trust him.
I feel like you could. I mean, I think Mike Montgomery is number 1, but I feel like Zimmerman and what's his face?
Matt Moore.
Could.
Yeah, I could go either way.
Yeah, I feel like I could go either way, but
it's both. Both of those are just pretty risky.
I mean, Jordan Zimmerman's pretty good, and then you don't have the DH, no DH in San Diego.
True.
I don't really see anyone hitting. Who do you like?
Well, actually, yeah, and it is the Padres, so I guess Zimmerman would probably be.
Yeah, who do you really see taking Zimmerman deep there?
I mean, Zimmerman has been better than Moore for the most part, anyway. I guess not.
Well, Moore's
Moore
home ERA is 3.07, so
still
his road ERA is like 8.06 or something like that. So he's definitely very comfortable at home. And the Mets have a decent lineup. It's nothing crazy, but all right, we can look at last week's matchups, which were all pretty bad. Actually, no. Alex Meyer versus Kansas City looks like he looks pretty good, actually. That was his best start of the season. Again,
yeah, that was pretty solid. 9 strikeouts through 6.
Yeah, someone picked him up in our league. I don't know. I'm not ready to pick him up yet. Same with Tyson Ross.
The Ross Bros.
And the Ross Bros. Tyson Ross got annihilated.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Ross did all right.
Oh, no, that was his previous. Tyson Ross did pretty well, actually. Sorry.
Wait, were we doing Joe Ross versus the Mets?
It was Joe Ross versus the Mets, yeah.
At Mets. So, I mean, 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. That's not too bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And Tyson Ross did something similar. He did like 5 2/3 and 2 runs.
Yeah, so, I mean, there was a clear winner, but none of these were really that bad.
And they were all pretty good, so that's a pat on the back for me for picking up 3
Who did we
guys.
take? I have no idea.
I
feel like I took Joe Ross.
I kind of want to say I took Alex Meyer, but I don't think I did. I was worried about Tyson Ross coming back from the injury. And Joe Ross is too risky, so I think I did go with Alex Meyer.
And also just bad.
Joe Ross either throws a complete game or he gives up 5 runs. Yeah, Tyson Ross, who just got lit up by the Blue Jays yesterday, so he's going to be a risky guy going forward. All right, so let's move on. Alok, do you have some? Or we have trivia, right?
I thought we were going to do Alok's thing first.
No, we'll do the trivia while we're doing fantasy baseball.
All right.
So why don't you introduce the segment first? Well, tell us what it's about. What does this mean?
All right, so this is a new segment on Fantasy and Friends. What we're going to do is bring up a baseball-related trivia question. I guess it doesn't have to be baseball, but this week it's going to be baseball.
Okay, so it's not always going to be baseball.
Not necessarily. I think I'm probably going to try to do baseball.
All right, because I was under the impression it was going to be baseball related, but that's fine.
So what's going to happen is I'm going to ask a fascinating question. I'm going to get some guesses from my co-hosts, and then I want all of our fans to go in the comments, try to guess the answer.
All of our
if
fans.
you know it. All of our fans, dude. We have fans.
All ones
We're
of our
fans.
fans.
There's this one dude. I don't want to say his name because it's embarrassing.
All those places.
Yes, so if you are watching or listening, go in the comments, try to guess the answer, and then we'll reveal it next week.
All right.
Along with the new question. So for our first installment, this is a question that I kind of thought of a few days ago. Two parts. The first part is, what is the shortest 9-inning professional baseball game in history? And then the second part is, what is the fewest number of pitches to pitch a complete game, meaning 8 or 9 innings or more, theoretically. So those are the two parts. I know Alok knows half of it.
I forgot the number though.
Yeah,
All right.
I don't think we remember.
Well, still, don't guess. What are your guesses for these two parts?
Wait, so you want me to guess the other one as well? The one that I knew before?
Don't do the one that you know,
Okay.
because you know it approximately, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, fewest number of pitches in a complete game.
Dan,
I
do you
just-
want to go first?
Yeah, because Alok's going to take forever just talking to himself about this. Let's see. I want to say for time, so the league average is like 320, right? So I
Okay,
want
this is through. I'm gonna give a hint here. This is through all of history.
Yeah, no, I'm just talking about right now.
So back in the day, we weren't dealing with ads and a million pitching changes and all that nonsense.
yeah, I know. I'm just saying. I'm just giving myself somewhat of a ballpark, right?
Okay.
Because I want to say it's probably like 110.
110. Okay.
Then again, I kind of. Because
Do you wanna-
my little league
do you wanna
games
type
took
these
like
in?
2 hours, so
All right. I'm gonna go.
110 seems kind of low.
But then, also in Little League, you have like
Well, what do you have?
number of runs.
Well, yeah, but this
Anyway,
is
that's-
back in the day, you know.
110. 110 is your guess. What's the number?
No,
of
no, I don't
pitches?
want to make 110. I'm talking.
You're changing it.
That sounds low because again, my little league games would take like. Jake, type in the question or whatever. Also, in the trivia. Yeah, just type it in so we remember what it was. 110 seems kind of low. I may bump it up to an hour and a half. Yeah, let's do an hour and a half. And then for number of pitches, 60. Yeah, that also seems kind of high. This is tough.
High.
Because you don't have any hints, right?
I gave you all the hints I can give you.
Because this could be anything.
What did you want to go? 60?
It seems kind of... All right, let's do 60.
How could it be anything? It can't be less than 27. Or, I suppose it can't be less than 24.
Yeah. But you could throw, like... Yeah, all right, let's do... Because there's plenty of complete games that are, like, in the 80s nowadays. So let's do
Yeah.
60.
60?
Yeah,
Alright, Alok.
why not?
50.
I'm not going to say it here, but I know your guess, which is the answer for the second part. So let's just get your first part here.
We'll just type it in. I mean, I already gave my guess, so you can just...
Well, I don't want to hear any, like, oh, wow, or something like that. It's going to give it away.
You know, I mean, like, just type in his answer, so that way we have it. Oh, but he didn't really guess, because he looked it up, didn't he?
He did look it up.
Okay, so that doesn't
give me
count. So
give me
he's
a time.
disqualified.
Give me a time here.
I automatically won the first one.
Wow.
Yeah, but you guys could split.
Well, you cheated. I mean, this
Just give me an answer here. Come on.
using performance-enhancing fingers. Okay, go ahead.
Wait, so you want my guess for the second part?
No,
I want your time.
You're disqualified for the first one.
You got that backwards.
Yeah, I guess for the second one, I'll just, see. Say you average 2 pitches in at bat.
Let's get going, Alok. We're running pretty long here. 55.
55?
Yeah.
So you're going 2 pitches per at bat, and then 1 more pitch.
Yeah.
All right, fancy.
Because, I mean, there's plenty of complete games that are, like, in the 80s. That's why I figured... Okay, I was going to say put NA, but Cheating Bastard
But writing
fine.
Cheating Bastard is fine.
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
fine.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so your guesses are recorded. See if we can get any guesses in the comments.
Yeah, probably not. I'll mark it down in the time codes. I'll put in the trivia segment, so that way it'll stand out a bit more. Okay, Alok, what do you want to talk about this week?
Alright, so there's this book I've been reading. So we're shifting gears from fantasy. This is our, like, miscellaneous topic of the week. So
I didn't think people noticed that, but alright, go ahead.
okay, well, in case you didn't. So, there's this book I've been reading. I'm almost done with it. It's called How Not to Be Wrong, The Power of Mathematical Thinking by Jordan Ellenberg. It's a New York Times bestseller and one of Bill Gates' 10 favorite books of all time, which says a lot considering Bill Gates reads like a book a week. So, I mean, this book is it's essentially about like how you can apply very simple, like, arithmetic-based mathematical, I guess, formulas to very ordinary things in, average daily life, and to get better intuition about things that you might do on a regular basis. So one of the things I wanted to talk about was a lottery in 2005 in the state of Massachusetts. And Ellenberg talks a great deal about this, devotes about an entire chapter. So the idea is, in 2005 in Massachusetts, there's a lottery called Cash Windfall. So if you're not familiar with how a lottery normally works, normally you pick a few numbers, about 6, let's say, and if you match all 6 digits of this number with the official lottery number, then you win the jackpot, and if you match 5 of the digits, then you win not the jackpot, but some smaller amount of money, and so on for different numbers of digits. So ordinarily in something like Powerball or Mega Millions, if no one wins the jackpot, then the jackpot could increase from like $2 million to $3 million, and so on. But none of the lower tier prizes would increase. The difference between an ordinary lottery and Cash Windfall in Massachusetts is that Cash Windfall would increase the lower tier prizes. And if you think about it, this might make some sense. It incentivizes more people to buy lottery tickets, and then the state makes more money. But what happened was, because they increased the lower tier prices, if you took the expected value, which I'll go into in a minute, of a lottery ticket, of a $2 lottery ticket, you end up getting that the expected value is $2.76, which means that on average you would make a 76-cent profit per lottery ticket the more lottery tickets you buy. So expected value is a pretty simple, value. It's probably the second thing you would learn in an average probability or statistics course. And a simple example could be, say we have a lottery where the jackpot is $1 million and you have a probability of 1/6 of getting $1 million. So you have a probability of 1/6 of winning $1 million. Let's say a third of winning $1,000, and then a probability of half of winning $100. So the expected value is just the probability of winning some prize times the prize itself summed over all prizes. So in this case, it's $1 million times a 6, plus $1,000 times a third, plus $100 times a half. And then that would be the expected value. So if you took the expected value of Cash Windfall, you end up getting that the expected value of a lottery ticket is $2.76. And since a lottery ticket for Cash Windfall costs $2, on average you would get 76 cents of profit per lottery ticket, the more lottery tickets you buy. So because this is in Massachusetts, you will have schools like MIT and Harvard with some pretty smart people, and some of them figured this out. They computed the expected value of this lottery and saw that it's actually a good investment, contrary to, the ordinary lottery. So a lot of people at these schools ended up making, or rather forming, lottery firms, I guess, where they would buy like 10,000, 20,000 lottery tickets from convenience stores, and they would make like 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, and sometimes even more than that, millions of dollars in profit. There was even some people who, I remember one person ended up dropping out of medical school to pursue this full time, which I don't know if that was the best decision considering the lottery was closed in 2008. So I don't know what he's doing now, but he did that. So yeah, overall this is a pretty good book. I think on Goodreads it had about a 4-star rating. And I'm not quite done with it yet. I have about 100 pages left, but I would definitely recommend this book. That was probably the most interesting story I found in it, but there's a lot of other things in it from, if you're interested in fantasy baseball, which, I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, I'm assuming you are, he does apply simple mathematics to baseball for a little bit of the book to show that the home run, if you've heard of the home run derby curse, he argues that that's not actually a curse, that's just, a myth. So that's a small part of the book, but that's, if you're interested in fantasy baseball, you could get the book just for that part at least. But yeah, overall, it's a pretty good book. I would recommend it.
All right.
I will have to learn to read, and then I'll get right on that.
Thanks, Pollock, for that insight. Anything else we want to talk about? I know Baby Driver's coming out next week, so get your tickets next Wednesday. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure you see it. No, really, it's great. Lots of great music too.
I frankly always thought that the home run derby curse was actual curse.
Yeah,
It was an
I thought there was some, like, the fairy godmother from Shrek just, like, cursed everyone.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, now that we've moved on to Shrek, we've clearly run too long here. Thanks for listening, everybody. Again, make sure you leave a comment about the trivia, leave a like, share it with all your friends, if you have them, and tune in next week. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Goodbye.
Yep. Bye.
See ya.